Tired of bringing home the usual cats and dogs from the animal shelter? Well, maybe not dogs. But if living dangerously is your thing, maybe these extreme pets are more up your alley. Here are the 10 scariest pets people actually own. What's up, Factnatics? This is Discovery Amuse serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Stay tuned for our number 1 pick because their bite is definitely worse than their bark. Number 10. Slow Loris. Looks can be deceiving, and in the case of our number 10 pick, those droopy eyes will get you into a furry situation. The slow loris is a nocturnal primate found mostly in Southeast Asia. They're one of the cutest yet deadliest primates on the planet thanks to their venomous armpits. Oh yeah! They mix their saliva with venom from glands in their upper arm, using it as a poison similar to cat allergens. It's potent enough to inflict anaphylactic shock and death on a human being. In most countries, it's illegal to own a slow loris, but of course, some people still want to get their hands on one. What anaphylactic shock? Sure, they are irresistible. Just take a look at this video of a slow loris being quote-unquote tickled. Little does the lady know that the loris's frozen stance and positioning of its teeny arms aren't signs that it's having fun. The loris is scared and ready to kill. Keep watching because our number 1 entry will have you screaming, "Who let the dogs out?" or "Are they dogs in the first place?" Number 9. Kangaroo. Getting kicked by a kangaroo may look funny in movies, but they can be extremely dangerous. You see, kangaroos are aggressive animals when provoked. In the wild, their strong arms and feet are capable of disemboweling their opponent. However, despite the experts' misgivings, YouTube creator Jackson O'Doherty still decided to own one. He named this little Joey Damien. In case you got confused, Joey is what you call a baby kangaroo. And to make things even more confusing, Jackson's pet Damien is actually a girl. Being a docile kangaroo, Damien likes going to the playground and making sandcastles. Just a piece of advice for would-be pet owners, just because you can doesn't mean you have to. Number 8. Kinkajou. Paris Hilton is one of the more high-profile owners of this exotic little furball. She's so enamored by her kinkajou that she called it Baby Love. But soon enough, the popular heiress learned that behind that adorable facade lies a vicious creature ready to attack when Paris got bitten by her pet. But what is a kinkajou anyway? If I can't spell it, I'm not petting it. Kinkajous are rainforest critters closely related to raccoons. Also known as honey bears, they can live up to 40 years in captivity and are known to be playful and quiet. Wait, honey bear? Is it the second cousin of Winnie the Pooh? Despite being cute and cuddly, keep in mind that kinkajous are still wild animals carrying the Kingella potus bacteria. And take a gander at those sharp claws and teeth. I can only imagine when it throws a tantrum. Number 7. Polar bear. If you think these animals are the most chill because they live in the Arctic Circle, well, think again. Adult polar bears can weigh as much as 700 kilos, making them one of the largest carnivorous animals on the planet. But animal handlers Mark and Dawn Dumas love getting bear hugs so much that they kept a pet polar bear they named Aggie. Aggie has been with Mark her whole life, which explains why she's so comfortable with cuddling and even swimming with her owner. I guess the cold never bothered her anyway. Aggie is apparently so well trained that she's made a career as an actress with numerous TV ads and 4 movies on her resume so far. If you've seen the 2014 movie The Journey Home, yep, that's Aggie right there, looking 10 pounds slimmer, girl. Number 6. Big cats. A lot of people are obsessed with keeping big cats for pets. Just ask the Tiger King himself, Joe Exotic. Wild cats like lions, tigers, cougars, and bobcats have been the go-to pets for people who want to show off their wealth. It's a thing in the Middle East. But like I said earlier, just because you can doesn't mean you should own one of these fierce felines, because being in captivity can drive them crazy. They also get pretty angry when hungry, and you know that's a deadly combination. Big cats devour an average of 88 pounds of meat per meal. Whoa! What happens when the pet owners run out of meat? Take a wild guess. But despite the apparent dangers, it's actually legal in some states in the US to have your very own fierce feline. After all, Mike Tyson owned a white tiger for a while. Big cats also need enough running space. Long story short, your house should basically be a zoo. Number 5. Hippo. Baby hippos are undeniably cute and cuddly, but it doesn't take long before they grow into a 1,000-pound killing machine. Hippos are one of Africa's most terrifying killers. Just try and invade their territory and you could get chomped by their deadly tusks. However, park rangers Tony and Shirley Joubert couldn't resist keeping a pet hippo in their home. When a flood came to Hoedspruit, South Africa, they found Jessica the baby hippo hanging on to dear life in the riverbank in front of their property. She was so weak and young that she had her umbilical cord still attached. And since Jessica won't survive in the wild on her own, they decided to adopt her. Now, 20-year-old Jessica is free to explore the wild but still returns home to her bed, which she repeatedly crushed due to her massive weight. Time for a juice cleanse. Number 4. Brown bear. In case you need another reminder that bears are extremely dangerous, did you know that scene from the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio gets attacked by a grizzly bear is based on a real-life event? You're welcome. Brown bears are mostly found in Eurasia and are the national symbol of Russia for a good reason. Though they're considered vegetarian, they wouldn't have second thoughts mauling anything or anyone if provoked. But this couple's attempt at domesticating an orphaned brown bear seems to be a roaring success. Svetlana and Yuri Pantelenko from Moscow adopted this baby bear they named Stepan when he was just a 3-month-old cub. Now in his mid-20s, Stepan finds domesticated life bearable, cuddling up with his folks and even having tea time outdoors. To keep him nourished, Svetlana and Yuri feed Stepan 25 kilos worth of fish, vegetables, and eggs daily. The Russian couple even have to cultivate their own garden to feed their growing son. May the paws be with you, Stepan. Number 3. Cayman. Caymans, not to be confused with the islands where rich people open their offshore bank accounts, are close relatives of crocodiles, although they're much smaller in size, but that doesn't mean they're any less ferocious. Caymans weigh anywhere from 6 to 40 kilograms, and if you happen to be in the area of Hiroshima in Japan, you can find one in the house of Nobumitsu Murabayashi. Much to his neighbors' dismay, Nobumitsu has a legal permit to keep his male spectacled caiman, but he does seem to be a responsible owner to his caiman, walking it, feeding it, and letting it sleep inside his room. Look at him walking his pet like it's just your average dog, except it has a long snout with dagger-shaped teeth and has scaly skin and weighs 100 pounds. In short, nothing like a dog. The odd couple go way back to 1982 when Nobumitsu bought him from an exotic animal festival. And in true Japanese minimalistic fashion, he simply calls his pet Cayman. Number 2. Komodo dragon. Some pet owners want to take their Game of Thrones fantasy to the next level by having their own dragon. Spoiler alert though, Komodo dragons don't breathe fire, so leave them alone. First of all, it's illegal to own one in Indonesia, where Komodo dragons can be mostly found. And even if some stubborn enthusiasts manage to get their hands on one in the black market, taking care of these gigantic lizards can be a slithery situation. Their saliva is extremely poisonous with over 50 bacterial strains, so say goodbye to smooching. They also require a ton of meat to keep them satisfied. Wait, am I a Komodo dragon? No. So, hold your horses and leave the dragon training to Hiccup and Daenerys Targaryen. Number 1. Hyena. I don't know about you, but if I see a hyena, I'll be running for dear life. Wait, that will make them chase me more, right? Hyenas are dog-like predators native to the African continent and are a staple in nature documentaries. While they are grossly misrepresented as hysterical, low-life scavengers, I'm looking at you, the Lion King, certain species of hyenas are stone-cold man-eaters. Locals are terrified of these carnivorous killers, except for one Ethiopian guy who came to be known as Hyena Man. Abbas Yusuf has become somewhat of a hyena whisperer, learning how to feed them and gain their favor. he learned that subtle art of taming hyenas from his father, who used to feed these carnivorous creatures. Amazingly, this cackle of hyenas is so obedient that Abbas can get them to perform in front of travelers. Talk about dark tourism. So, which of these animals did you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments section below. Join our fantastic tribe of Factnatics right now by smashing that subscribe button and clicking the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. And speaking of high-maintenance animals, check out our video on 10 expensive dogs only rich people can afford. Till then, stay fierce, Factnatics, and see you in our next video.